Today, I'm going to be reviewing two in-game mini-games, basically like mini-games you can put into your tavern or into your TTRPG for the players to play, a dice game, a little gambling game, whatever it is, these little games within the game. We held a contest in the GM Philosophy Discord, and there were two winners. I'm going to look at each of these games, and we're going to take a look. I'm going to react to them. I've never seen them before. I'm looking at them for the first time. You're not going to miss this. Let's dive in. Welcome back to GM Philosophy in the Morning. I'm the GM Philosopher. Here at GM Philosophy, the goal is to empower game masters to run better games. If this sounds like a goal you're interested in, then hit that thumbs up button and smash that subscribe button because you're not going to want to miss a single video. I also want to give a big shout to our partner level Ko-Fi supporters before we dive into this. Solstice and David, thank you so much for all the support you show the channel, being patrons of the arts here at GM Philosophy. You are so appreciated. Thank you so much. And a big thank you to all of our Ko-Fi supporters. With that being said, let's dive into these creations. Let's talk about them. Let's react to them. If you've never run mini games in your TTRPGs, you know what, you might be missing out. And these are two awesome games. You're going to be able to find links to these actually in the archives in the Discord. So if you want to grab one of these to put in your game or both of them, just jump in the Discord, links in the description. Boom, you're not going to miss it. Be awesome like us, the rest of the people in GM Philosophy, playing awesome D&D games, TTRPG games, and being awesome. So here we go. All right, so the first mini game we have here is called King's Favor, a game of luck, risk, and strategy. This is by Kelf. Big shout out to Kelf. Kelf is a counselor, a moderator here at GM Philosophy in the Discord. He is also a player in my Barren Lands campaign on Tuesday night. So Kelf is in it to win it. And we have here another entry. Kelf has won a lot of these content creation contests. We run these, I think, twice a month at this point in the GM Philosophy Discord. So, hey, if you think your creativity can rival that of the mighty Kelf, I invite you to join and to challenge him in a content creation contest. But okay, here we go. King's Favor, a game of luck, risk, and strategy. Game type, dice, d6 based. Common locations, taverns, gambling halls, noble courts. Players, 2 or more. Objective, get as close to 13 as possible without going over. The history of King's Favor. The first game of King's Favor was said to have been played in the court of King Aldrich the Gambler, a ruler known as much for his cunning as for his love of dice and chance. Speaking of which, if you see yourself as a game master with levels and levels of cunning, I would invite you to download my free Top 10 Tips ebook, compiled over 20 plus years of running games. These are my top 10 tips, the top 10 tips that will help you to turn your game even better overnight. Download this for free when you sign up for my email list. If you're an experienced GM, download it, read it, and then let me know if you agree. If you're a new GM, this might actually help you to improve your game by a vast margin, literally overnight. It's only 7 pages long. You can read it in one sitting, and then you can deploy those tips to make it better. So link to that is in the description. All right, now let's continue with our King's Favor reaction. According to legend, Alric faced a rebellion led by his own brother. The kingdom was on the brink of war, but rather than march his armies, Aldrich offered a single wager, a game of chance. He and his brother would each roll 2 dice, adding their totals. Then they could each choose to roll again or hold their sum. The one closest to 13 without going over would decide the fate of the war. It is said Ulrich rolled first, landing an 8. His brother followed with a 10. Ulrich rolled again, adding a 3. Bringing him to 11. His brother, eager to claim victory, took another roll, but the dice betrayed him, showing a 4 and bringing his total to 14. He had lost the wager, and with it, the war. Aldrich spared his brother's life, but stripped him of all power, leaving him to wander as a nameless exile. From then on, the phrase, to roll past 13 is to lose a kingdom, became a gambler's warning. Oh, I get it. So you get as close to 30 as possible without going over. I see. Okay. All right, how to play. Ante up. If playing for stakes, all players agree on an ante: gold, drinks, favors, or items. The players closest to 13 wins the pot. First roll. Each player rolls 2d6 and announces their total. If a player rolls double sixes, total of 12, they trigger the King's Favor. If a player rolls double ones, Total of 2, they trigger the Queen's Mercy. Otherwise, the game continues as normal. So here are some special rules. The King's Favor. If a player rolls double sixes, 12, on their first roll, they may choose to roll one additional d6 as part of their first roll. If that die lands on a 1, 13 total, they have earned the King's Favor and win instantly. If it does not land on a 1, they bust and are eliminated. Oh, okay. So I don't know why you would want to do that. I see it's like a fun optional rule. Maybe if someone else did it, but it just seems like that wouldn't be the way you'd want to go. Anyway, okay, 3B, the Queen's Mercy. If a player rolls double ones on their first roll, they may choose to roll 2d6 instead of 1d6 on their next turn. If these dice land on double sixes, 14 total, the Queen shows mercy, and they may remove one of the ones they rolled in the first round. Oh, wait a minute. If a player rolls double ones on their first roll, they may choose to roll 2d6 instead of 1d6 on their next turn. If these dice land on double sixes, 14 total, the Queen shows mercy, and they may remove one of the ones they rolled in the first round, so it'd take them to 13 exactly. Okay, I see. Hit or pass. Players can choose to raise the ante before rolling, then starting with the player with the lowest total from the round 1, each player decides. Either hit, roll a d6 and add the result to their total, or pass, keep the current total and take no further rolls. So players can choose to raise the ante before rolling, then starting with the player with the lowest total from round 1, each player decides. Okay, so they can raise the ante so they can bet more, basically. Players take turns making this decision until everyone has passed or gone over 13. If a player's total exceeds 13, they bust and are out of the round, winning the game. If a player reaches exactly 13, they win. Otherwise, closest to 13 without going over wins. In case of a tie, tied players roll 1d6 each. The highest roll wins. That's what happens with a tie. Okay. Look how nice this is laid out. Kelf always does such a good job with the graphics. This is an awesome picture. Picture of some d6s here. Yeah, super awesome. Heck yeah. Now, Kelf's creation was obviously super awesome, but is it better or not as good as the next winner? Don't forget, Kelf and Cursing Dwarf tied to win this contest, and Cursing Dwarf's entry was called Summoner's Gambit. Let's take a look at that and see which one really comes out on top. All right, Summoner's Gambit. History of the game. A powerful wizard named Gary the Old Grey was well renowned and took on 4 apprentices. He used their rivalry to make them each grow stronger. He declared that he would train them all during a trial period before selecting his true apprentice. The 4 fought constantly out of fear of being sent away before they were fully trained. To settle their arguments, Gary the Old Grey created a game. The game grew vastly in popularity as each of his apprentices took on apprentices of their own. Later, it became a sport that many came to watch, and schools began competing against one another. The description. The arena is a large 90-foot by 90-foot space in a circular command zone at each corner. In an arc in front of each wizard are 3 large slabs of stone. These stones are enchanted with spell glyphs, loaded with predetermined spells that can be activated by command words. Prerequisites to play. A spellcaster capable of casting Glyph of Warding, to know at least 1 summon creature spell, and has 3 spell slots of the spell tier required. So here are the rules. Spell selection. Each wizard selects 3 spells, 1 summoning spell and 2 supporting spells, which can be buffs, debuffs, or damage spells. The summoning spell chosen must be the same level as the tier. The other 2 spells can only equal up to the same level as the tier. Example, first level spell and third level spell are allowed in a tier 4 match. Okay, gotcha. So battle format. The game is a battle royale where 4 wizards compete. The last summoned creature standing is crowned the winner. Oh, so this is literally like a summoning contest. That's really cool, actually. So restrictions. Targeting anything outside the arena or another wizard is prohibited. Spells that banish or remove a summoned creature from the arena are banned. Tier system. Wizards are grouped in tiers based on the total spell levels of their 3 chosen spells. This prevents higher level casters from facing lower level ones. Example, summon elementals 4th level, enlarge or reduce the 2nd level, web 2nd level, His tier is level 4, meaning the highest spell slot he can use is 4th level. His 2 secondary spells are 2nd level, totaling 4 spell levels overall. And Large Reduce provides flexibility once he sees his opponent's strategies. He can reduce a creature before using web to restrain it or enhance his own summon by increasing its size or extra damage. Okay, optional mechanic. The game has become a large attraction, bringing gambling as well as crowd participation. People prior to the game can purchase hazard tiles. These tiles can be scattered on the battlefield and last for 1 round of combat after being triggered. Any tiles triggered will be paid to the victor, but only the ones that are triggered. Oh, so people could make extra money by not having tiles triggered. Oh, interesting. Okay, I like it. I like it. Now, obviously, if you're interested in downloading and using either of these minigames in your D&D game, you can find them in the contest archive on our Discord. Link to that is in the description. But now let me give you my actual reaction when I compare these two. So here's what I like about Kelf's game, King's Favor. The thing about this game is that it's kind of a small dice game. You're going to hear a lot of clattering in the back. My dog is very restless right now. So if you hear any whining or clattering, that's just him being a dog. Anyway, I like it because it's a small dice game. You can stick it into really any game. You could put this in a tavern scene. You could have like a gambling challenge. You know, they could walk in and someone challenges them to like a round of King's Favor, maybe gambling magic items or their well-earned gold. So I think that it's fun that it's kind of small and you could fit it in almost anywhere. And it's almost a different type of game entirely than Summoner's Gambit by Cursing Dwarf. Cursing Dwarf's minigame is more of a magic type game. It's something I would imagine like, you know, the players would conduct if they were going to a school of wizardry like in Harry Potter, or you know, they were going to face actually other powerful spellcasters, like a game of skill. It seems to be a lot bigger, a lot broader in scope, and it wouldn't be able to fit in quite as many different places. But it's super cool, and the fact that, you know, it supports spells up to 4th level is pretty awesome, but that requires certain level spellcaster to do, right? So just the circumstances surrounding this mini game would make it so that there would be kind of a more limited number of places. Plus, it needs like a special, it needs an almost special court or zone. It's an arena, a large 90-foot by 90-foot space with a circular command zone at each corner. So it's almost like this is, you have the arena. So maybe they come into a village and the village already has a Summoner's Gambit arena, and it's like the game they play in this village, like up and coming spellcasters play this game against each other. So, you know, it's a more selective thing, but it's larger in scope. The actual event is bigger, and the depth of the actual game itself is definitely more. You could, I mean, you could have a whole session devoted to the players kind of preparing for and then playing Summoner's Gambit. It could be its own adventure type of thing. With that being said, I love both of these creations, and I don't think I would change anything about them. I'm not actually that great at creating mini games like this. I tend to get them from other people. And so these are examples of games that I may absolutely use in my games at some point. I am not like a mini game creator expert, so I love it when I see people actually make games that are fun. One of my favorite mini games up to now has always been Liar's Dice. Like, you know, I've used that in my games before. Very, very cool. I've played in games where GMs have used that mini game, and it's always fun and actually exciting to play. And I think that these are just as good as that, especially if we're talking about dice games like King's Favor. I could totally see using that very easily, sliding that into one of my games. And of course, Summoner's Gambit would require a bit of planning. There would almost need to be an adventure arc devoted to it, like a 1-session adventure completely devoted to the game because it's a bit larger scope. But anyway, boom, there are my thoughts and my reactions to this. Great job, Cursing Dwarf and Kelf, for your winning entries. I really appreciate you working so hard on these things, and I am super happy to get to react to them and look at them for the first time. So hell yeah. And that, my friends, is going to be a wrap for this one. I want to give a big shout out to our most recent gold level supporter, Craig. Craig, thank you so much for supporting the channel and all that you do to keep GM Philosophy going. I'm here at this point actually dropping videos once per week, and then I do a live stream on Mondays and Fridays. Unfortunately, due to work schedule, I've had to cut way back on making videos for a very limited time so that I can get used to my new schedule and make it work better. But we will hopefully be more back up and running at full production very soon. Lots of major life changes and transitions as I move and all kinds of other things. So we are getting there. We're getting it figured out. And hey, Thank you so much for coming back for another episode. Roll some D100s for me at your next game, and I'll see you awesome people on the next one.